More details of the tragic Sacramento shooting have come out. The gunman who killed his 3 daughters, a chaperone, and himself last week was in the United States illegally. He carried out the shooting with an unregistered firearm, also known as a ghost gun.
Immigration officials said David Mora, 39, was in the U.S. illegally when he killed his 3 daughters, a chaperone who was supervising his visit with the children, and himself at the church in Sacramento. A spokesperson from ICE told the Associated Press that Mora overstayed his visa after entering California from Mexico in December 2018. ICE asked to be notified when Mora was released from jail after he was arrested in Merced County for assaulting the California Highway Patrol officer. Investigators said Mora had been living at the church after he was released from an involuntary mental health hold in April 2021. He was held there after threatening to harm himself and his estranged girlfriend. During Mora's weekly visit with his 3 daughters, he opened fire, killing them all. Investigators revealed no motive. His ghost gun had an illegal 30-round ammunition magazine. 17 bullets were fired. Mora was under a restraining order and not supposed to have a gun. Authorities do not know how or when he obtained it. At the time, Mora was out on bail after being arrested 5 days earlier on charges of resisting arrest, battery on a police officer, and driving under influence. Under California's 2017 sanctuary state law, immigration officials are not notified about in-custody people who are being released. It restricts cooperation between local law enforcement and federal officials, except when immigrants are accused of very serious crimes.
Speaking of LA's homeless issues, one city council member is collecting signatures for more direct action in addressing homelessness. Not only is he supporting housing, but he's also looking to ban homeless encampments. Here's what Angelinos need to know about the signature collection effort.
The city of Los Angeles is moving one step closer to banning homeless encampments. On March 3rd, the Los Angeles City Clerk approved a measure titled Safer Streets LA. Along with banning encampments, the measure would increase temporary housing for homeless individuals. The petition is being circulated for signatures until July. City Councilman Joe Buscaino and Safer Streets LA organizers need about 65,000 signatures. With enough signatures, the City Council may pass the measure. If they don't pass it, it will appear on the upcoming November ballots. No matter how the measure is approved, it would give the mayor the power to declare a local homelessness emergency. Buscaino's measure would kick in only after people have been offered shelter and refused it. It would also allow the city to cut through the red tape for building shelters. He said, creating enough transitional housing will be the fastest way toward helping those who need it most and returning order to our neighborhoods across Los Angeles. Charity on Wheels founder Zach Southall said solving homelessness takes more than just housing.
Friday was the 2-year anniversary of California's COVID state of emergency. As the governor holds on to his executive powers, some lawmakers are pushing back. Here's what some lawmakers are working to change.
California's state of emergency for the CCP virus, also known as COVID-19, passed its 2-year mark on March 4th. It has given Governor Gavin Newsom authoritative power over lawmakers. Now, some lawmakers are pushing to remove his powers. Assemblyman Kevin Kiley said, "We live in this state of just a one-man rule, with one person reporting to make decisions on behalf of 40 million people." In February, Newsom removed 95% of executive orders as well as mask mandates for both K-12 schools and unvaccinated workers. But he still holds on to power through the state of emergency. The California Emergency Services Act has allowed Newsom to make, amend, and rescind laws. And he can do so without the legislature's approval. His office did not respond as to when the state of emergency would be lifted. Kiley said, "We just hosted the Super Bowl 2 weeks ago, and the justification for a state of emergency is completely expired." Senator Melissa Melendez said, "We can't continue in a state of emergency forever." She introduced legislation requiring her colleagues to vote on ending the state of emergency. A hearing has been scheduled for March 15th. Melendez added that the point behind the bill is to make sure that there are some limitations placed on the executive branch.
Federal agencies arrested a California-based military contractor for allegedly sending technology to China. The Justice Department said he broke federal export laws by sending out sensitive U.S. tech to multiple foreign countries.
Federal agencies arrested 77-year-old Joe Seri, former owner and CEO of Tungsten Heavy Powder and Parts. They allege he knowingly and willfully exported military intelligence. The intelligence includes data and drawings to China and India without U.S. approval. The San Diego-based company supplies fragments and weapon-grade components made of tungsten, a rare metal, to the military. He conspired with his 70-year-old brother, Dror Seri, a dual citizen of Israel and South Africa. He remains a fugitive and is believed to be living in Israel. A U.S. attorney stated, the indictment alleges that these brothers disregarded important regulations designed to keep sensitive information from falling into the hands of those who would harm America. The brothers allegedly created a non-company email to secretly access the sensitive documents from Tungsten's part system. They exported the sensitive technical drawings by email when Dror was in India and China. Prosecutors said Tungsten Parts had contracts with multiple aerospace and defense companies from 2016 to 2019 to work on projects involving the construction of an advanced rapid response weapon. It's illegal to transfer data, goods, and services that are designed as defense items out of the United States without a license. If convicted, violators face a maximum penalty of up to 20 years in prison and a $1 million fine. Tungsten Parts has agreed to assist with the investigation. NTD reached out to Tungsten Parts for a comment.
Some Hollywood stars are raising money for Ukrainian refugees. Hollywood couple Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis are at the forefront, along with some major organizations.
The two have raised over $17 million as of this Monday, just 3 days after setting up a GoFundMe page. Kutcher, sitting by Kunis' side in the video, said the funds would be used to provide refugee and humanitarian aid to Ukrainians. Kunis, born in Ukraine, moved to the United States when she was 7 years old. The two actors, who married in 2015, have agreed to match up to $3 million of donations, with the ultimate goal of raising $30 million. They are partnering with short-term housing websites Airbnb.org and Flexport.org, which organizes shipments of humanitarian aid to refugees. Other California-based contributors include Wells Fargo and Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian.
A century-old World War II veteran passed away last Friday. A Central Valley group plans to celebrate his life.
The Stockton Marine Corps Club will be hosting a celebration of life ceremony in Stockton for William White. He is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran who served in the Battle of Iwo Jima during World War II. He was 106. According to a Facebook post from the Marine Corps Club, the Major lived a great life, and though he was 106 years old, he fought to be with us until the end. Those of us that knew him are heartbroken, but we know that he will want us to be strong. White died with his daughter and granddaughter by his side. He was born in Long Beach in July 1915 and joined the Marines in 1934. He later was stationed in Pearl Harbor. He went to Parker Ranch in Hawaii for training and prepared for the invasion of Iwo Jima. According to the Post, he was ashore after the first flag was raised, landing on the beach directly under Mount Suribachi, and was with the 1st Battalion, 28th Marines at the time, and then he was wounded and sent back to the U.S. Last year, he recited the Gettysburg at a virtual 76th anniversary Battle of Iwo Jima tribute.
77 years ago, our forefathers brought forth on this continent a Jew nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Today,
White had spent his final days living at a senior center. Instead of flowers, his family asked people to make donations to the Hospice of San Joaquin County or the Stockton Marine Corps Club. More details about the celebration will be announced later, following a private cremation and burial for White in Huntington Beach.
When we think about feeding a newborn, most people will think of milk. But atop this Southern California pine tree, a newly hatched bald eagle has meat on the menu. Video on Monday shows the eagle pair, a male named Shadow and a female named Jackie, caring for their chick. Last year, the pair also laid 2 eggs, but neither chick survived. The nest is in a pine tree about 145 feet above the ground. Friends of Big Bear Valley, which operates a webcam on the nest, says the second egg could hatch any day.